everybody, Lucas Haneman here. Welcome to this week's episode of Guitar Tone Tuesday, which is all about the art of funk guitar. Say it with me, the art of funk guitar. Man, I love playing funk guitar so much. And if I have one wish in my life, it's that I'm going to die a very old man on stage surrounded by a big band playing that exact style of music. That's what I want. I want to die somewhere between the age of, 100, 125 on a stage with a band playing funk. Because, man, there's nothing more enjoyable to me than just holding it down and playing that style of stuff. I mean, I just love it so much. I love listening to that style of music and trying to absorb what all the instruments are doing. I think it's the multi-instrumentalist inside of me that loves that. I mean, I actually had a lot of fun making that little backing track. I played the drums, I played the bass, I played the guitar, and I kind of did some faux horn organ stuff there as well. And by the way, those two excerpts were initially from this really amazing album. I think it's my favorite funk album of all time, although it's hard to choose just one. But the album's called Life on Planet Groove, and it's a 1992 release by the great saxophonist Maceo Parker, recorded in Berlin, Germany, Cologne, Germany, sorry, over the course of 2 nights. But man, it's an amazing, amazing album. Candy Dolfer, great saxophone player, plays on that album as well. Fred Wesley, Pee Wee L.A. There's a great singer named Kim Maisel who sings on the second excerpt I just played, which is a tune called Got to Getcha. And then the first one was this tune called Shake Everything You Got, which is a 16.5-minute song that starts the album. And it is so good, man. If you want to get into the holiday spirit, especially this year, it's been a weird year, 2020, turn on that album and you're going to be in a very, very happy place. So go check it out. Life on Planet Groove, Maceo Parker. Now, the guitar player on that album is named Rodney Jones, and he's an amazing funk guitar player, an amazing jazz guitar player as well. He's got some great stuff up on YouTube. I believe there's a version of him playing Round Midnight, and it's just killer. But, man, he plays guitar, and it sounds like a Strat. That's why I grabbed this guitar. And, man, it's amazing. So here are the 3 elements to funk guitar, in my opinion. It's your right hand, which is the timekeeper. Okay? It's your left hand, which is the secondary timekeeper. And we'll get into why. But I think it's actually just as important as the left hand. And then the third element is what you choose to do. Do you choose to play chords? Do you choose to play single notes? Or do you choose to play, double stops, dyads, whatever you choose to call them? Right? But these are things that I find in all kinds of funk guitar. It's really those 3 elements: chords, single notes, double stops, played with your right hand, your left hand. So if that makes any sense to you, hopefully it does make sense to me. So feel free to grab your guitar. I'm going to teach you guys some examples there that I just played. So Shake Everything You Got is more of a chordal thing. It's based off of this D9 shape here. Index finger, 4th fret D. The root note is the middle finger on the 5th fret of A. And then you got your ring finger there on the 5th fret of G, B, and high E. So that's the first chord. Then I'm going to a D9 add 13 where I put my pinky finger on the high E string on 7. I'm just adding it to that chord. And the strumming, down, up, 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 down, up, up, up. So, why is it down, up, up, up? Well, it's because in my head I'm subdividing at the 16th note. When I play mid-tempo funk like this, that's really what I got to do. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I'm thinking about the 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... So the down beats are down strokes like this, and then the up strokes are the up beats. Up, 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 like that, right? So that's what we call syncopation. So the up beats are up strums. So when I play this strumming pattern, down, up, 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 it's the reason why those strokes are up strokes is because they're coming in on the up beats or off beats. And now, if I played that but just kept my left hand on the fretboard for the whole time, check this out. So this is why I say the left hand is a very important element as well in terms of your timekeeping. It's really the articulation. So when I play this, I usually try to go short, 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 long. Can you hear the reverb on my amp? Ever so slightly there. If I play a very short chord, that's the idea. You want the guitar to be very percussive. It really fits into the rhythm section along with the organ, the bass, the drums. And then that long chord is the accent chord because it's long. It sounds different than everything else. Sometimes I choose to go long on the first chord too. And then it also sounds very cool. So that's the main part for that song. And then the bridge is up here, same shape, but a G9. So we're off the 10th fret, and then 8, 9, 10. So G9, F9, F sharp, 9, back to G9. Ninth chords are huge in the funk, right? So down, up, 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 right? Now, as you can hear, sometimes I'm still strumming the other 16th notes. I'm not playing all of them because it would get too busy, right, in the context of the band. But if I were to, it kind of sounds interesting, especially if you were, playing by yourself without a band. That's a good way to fill in the space and make it percussive. But again, the whole thing is that sometimes I'm strumming those other 16th notes because my hand is kind of moving like this. Right? And I'm definitely not being gentle. That's the other thing with this style of playing is that you got to dig into your guitar, okay? Like crazy. Don't be afraid. The guitar will not get hurt. All right. Second example. I Got to Get You. Now, I had fun figuring this one out because, in the funk thing, the guitar is not always the most prominent element in the mix. So on this specific album by Maceo Parker, the guitar is way over in the left speaker, and it's pretty quiet. So I had to pan my stereo system all the way over to the left side and try to really hear that guitar. And this is what I think he's playing. So we're in the key of C, all right? And index finger on the A string on the 6th fret is an E flat note, so that's the minor third. So that's our single note playing, right? He also does this. E flat, F, E flat. So 6, 6, 8, 6. I'm doing index to ring to index there. And then, and in between those two elements, I'm using the third, which is the double stop, or the dyad playing. So let's look at what this is, okay? It just looks like a little shape, right? But if I dissect that, it's actually part of a C7 chord. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the D string and G string of that full C7 chord off the low E string 8th fret, and I'm just isolating those two notes. Now it just so happens that that's the flat 7th and the 3rd of the chord. So we call those the guide tones of the chord, okay? It's also known as a tritone interval. So that's what we're doing. Now I'm not fingering it like this because it's a little harder to get to. So I'm doing middle finger and ring finger. And as soon as I get up to the fret, I'm sliding from a fret below. So as soon as I get up to the actual fret of the chord, I take the pressure off. Again, there's that left hand, right? Left hand timekeeping as well as the right hand. I'll slow it down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a little bit of muting going on where I just slide, take the pressure off, pluck the A string, which is very muted, and then slide again. It adds a lot. These notes are that's short, long, and then short, 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 short. It's very important, the articulation. Finally, last but not least, the bridge of that song, I really love this too. It's in the key of G, But Rodney Jones, the guitar player on this record, is just playing the flat 7th. So an F note on the A string, 8th fret. And then finally he plays the chord. Very similar thing to what he was doing in the verse, but he's using a 9th chord. Again, here we see the 9th chord. And he's sliding into it from a fret below. So that's an F sharp 9 on the 9th fret, sliding to a G9 on the 10th fret. So that's the bridge. Man, so much fun. I love this style of playing. You know, of course, I love the James Brown stuff too. You know, all those classic recordings like Soul Power. Where the guitar is just a rhythmic part. It's a piece of the rhythm section, you know. And as I say, I love dissecting all the elements of these tunes. It's just so much fun. I love dissecting, what are the drums doing here? What's the bass doing here, you know? It's just a blast to me, and I hope you guys appreciate this kind of stuff too. Now, this is part of a 2-part mini-series we're going to do on kind of complementary guitar. Next week, we are going to come back and we're going to talk about textural guitar. So kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, something very light, but that can really, really make the song. So again, elements to funk playing, in my opinion, are the right hand, keeping the 16th notes going, at least in your mind. The left hand being responsible for the articulation. And then the other stuff, which is chords, single notes, and then double stops. So I hope you guys found this helpful. Please let me know in the comment section below whether your favorite funk albums and funk guitar players of all time. It's really hard to choose just one, in my opinion. But go out, listen to some funk, listen to the Maceo Parker album, Life on Planet Groove, and hopefully that gets you guys into the holiday spirit and, you know, kicks things off on a cheery note this year. That's about it for this week. Please do like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to comment down below. We'll see everybody again next Tuesday.